Okay, you guys, welcome to another episode of Boss Bitch Radio. If you are new here, welcome. Today's episode is one that is requested by you guys. I posted a what should my next podcast episode be? And the overwhelming votes were my current supplement routine. So it's going to be a long one because I'm going to cover lots of things that I'm using, I'm not using, and why they're important, what you should consider, lots of things. Now, if you are confused about what you should be adding to your supplement strategy, this episode is going to break down what I'm taking based off of various categories. So if you want to skim the show notes, you can probably find the timestamps to just jump to that area of interest for you. Because, like I said, if you could see the smorgasbord of supplements that I have on my desk right now, it is kind of embarrassing. Okay. So, like I mentioned, we're going to be talking about why I take some of these, what they're good for, when I would use them. I'm not going to get into nitty gritty as far as what I suggest as a whole, because again, it's supplementation. And I got to start by saying it's important that you understand that I am not a doctor. I am not a certified dietitian, and I am not technically allowed to prescribe supplements. So, with that in mind, it is important that you talk to your healthcare provider or your doctor and make sure that you are indeed okay to be taking these things. And myself and my team, we recommend generally as far as dosing, timing, and potential interactions, but we're never prescribing anything. So, this is not, this is not the episode where you can be like, well, I listened to Boss Bitch Radio and, she said the things. Now, something else that's really fun with this episode is I'm going to have a downloadable, I guess, supplement shopping list, but supplement guide that will break these all down into your categories so you can reference the exact products I'm talking about should you want to get the exact products. And we're going to talk about why specific products are important. Like, don't be just going over to Costco or Walmart or Target or CVS and just being like, oh, this Diane said vitamin C, so let me just grab this random container, this random bottle of vitamin C. It is important that you're getting good quality supplements. And honestly, I love the jungle place as much as anyone else. And if you're wondering what that is Amazon. And I love to purchase things on Amazon. And I used to purchase a lot of my supplements on Amazon until one of my favorite influencers, Chalene Johnson, started really just getting on her platform, which is Instagram stories, and saying, like, do not buy supplements from Amazon, get it direct from the source, and so on and so on. So I kind of just nixed my Amazon supplement shopping a couple years ago. Okay. So here is what we are going to dive in. Of course, I'm going to talk to you about all the supplements I have here, which is everything I take in some way, shape, or form at some point, what they are good for, when, if you should take them, how I strategize their timing. And I'm going to categorize them into different little groups. I have my foundational supplements, I have my performance and muscle building strength supplements. We're just going to lump them all into that. I have fat loss and metabolism type supplements, is the best I could describe them. Hormone support and general overall health supplements. And then mood, sleep, and stress relief. And then I do have a little bonus section about how to organize your supplements and all that jazz. So stay tuned to the end for that. And of course, if you want the download, make sure to check the description box somewhere here or the show notes, and you will get that download PDF guide. All of the supplements will be hyperlinked. It'll take you directly to the product. Some of them have affiliate codes or promo codes. So they are affiliate codes. I do get a portion of the proceeds, but that's not why I take these things. I would be talking about them even if I didn't. It was just so happened that I was taking them, and I reached out to the companies and I'm like, hey, use these things. I talk about them. I get a lot of people interested, and it'd be cool if you could give my homies a discount. Give me the homie hookup. So that guide will give you the homie hookup as well as the links in the description box. Okay, so let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to start first with the foundational supplements. Okay, so the first one is the basis of all supplements and is what a lot of people just kind of have as a baseline for the most part. I'm here pulling everything out because, oh my gosh, it's like Lego. It's like, no, it's not Jenga over here right now. If you could see my desk. Okay. This brand happens to be called New Tech. It is a super multivitamin plus. So this is great for just your base level of insurance. That's what I call it. That's what I call a multivitamin. It is insurance because we don't get enough nutrients, vitamins, and minerals from our day-to-day food, especially if you eat a lot of processed foods or fast foods or restaurant foods, the methods that they're cooked in, essentially how our produce and things are harvested and pesticides and all that fun stuff. A multivitamin is a good baseline to have in everyone's nutrition strategy, unless you are eating copious amounts of green things that come from the earth and you have that all taken care of. But that is not the majority of us. Okay. I have little postcards here to keep me on track because I'm a fourth grader. The next one I have is going to be something as simple as vitamin C. Now, this brand is called Elemental and it's vitamin C. And this one has rosehip powder in it as well. So you can see that. You can see the brand there. Now, vitamin C is classically thought of as a supplement that is only going to boost immunity. And while it does that, and that's important because if you think about it, if you're sick, you can't go to the gym. If you're sick, you can't go to work, right? These types of things. So it is important that you're getting enough vitamin C, but it also has an antioxidant effect. And why that's important is because with the stress of the kind of training that we do, us boss bitches, weight training and things like that, with the intense workout, antioxidants are going to help with a speedier recovery. So secret, you didn't know vitamin C was also a recovery supplement, right? But it is indeed. It is involved in the production of carnitine, which I'm sure you've heard of as well in the fat loss and supplement world, which contributes to efficient metabolism. Okay. So this is also going to aid in fat loss with indirectly. Okay. So don't go around saying boss bitch said vitamin C is the new weight loss pill or fat loss pill, but it will help indirectly by way of carnitine production. Okay. Then we have omegas. Let me find that. All right. We have the brand happens to be called Trailhead, and this is an omega 3. I'm very particular with my omegas, and I have been for years. There are so many products out there that have very low percentages of EPA and DHA. And so, in order for you to really reap the benefits from your omegas, you would have to take like 10 pills. This one just so happens to have a high concentrate of both of them. So, you do not need to take 10 pills to achieve the same result as you would with a shitty supplement, a shitty omega. Okay. So this helps with multiple things. I think this is a supplement that is very underrated, especially when it comes to us that are trying to lose weight and, reshape our body and things of that nature. It helps with joint inflammation. It also helps with overall heart health, cognitive function. This one is really big for competitors. My competitors, hands down, will have an omega-3 recommended in their supplementation from us coaches because your cognition goes down in prep. You kind of become a dum-dum, right? You're to a certain degree. Your body fat decreases, your overall brain function just seems to slow down a little bit. And the omegas are incredibly imperative when you are in a contest prep diet because you are likely not eating foods that are going to contribute to your omegas because let's be real, contest prep diets and diets in general are usually restrictive in dietary fat unless you're doing the good old fashioned keto. But that means you're likely not getting enough of these imperative omega-3 fatty acids. Okay. All right. So moving on, what I just realized is I'm not really giving you guys an idea or a deep dive as to like when I take these as far as like supplement rotating, which we'll talk about in a minute, because these ones I take every day. So no matter if I'm in a fat loss phase or I'm in a maintenance phase or, a building phase or whatever, these are always going to be in my routine until I die unless something unless something drastically changes with my diet and all of a sudden I'm eating copious amounts of like salmon and like fatty fish. I'm probably always going to be taking omegas and like vitamin C and things like that. So these ones I will always have as a baseline. Okay. The gut formula is one of my newer favorites. I've always taken and experimented with different types of digestive enzymes and things of that nature, probiotics. And I love this one from New Tech as well. It is the gut formula. Now, when you start a transformation program, a contest prep, a diet, a switch up in your normal dietary way of being, okay, sometimes your GI gets a little pissed off. There's a lot more fiber coming in than it's used to. Protein is probably higher than it used to be. And if you have a sluggish digestive system, sometimes it cannot keep up with this new influx. Well, that's what these are for. This is a great addition. I have a very finicky GI system. I do not have a gallbladder. And I usually have a higher protein diet consistently. So I take this pretty religiously, and it helps with absorption of nutrients because you could have the best diet, you could have the best supplement stack like I have here, but if your digestive tract is not optimized for absorption, you get the point, right? So it is going to help with digestion. And my personal favorite and the personal favorite of the people around me is that it reduces bloating and gas. Okay. Because ain't nobody trying to be dealing with me when I am farty marty. Okay. Next up we have, oh, this is one that I'm very excited about because it's something that I just recently added this year. Okay. Which is not a new product. It's been out and like hot and happening for a minute, but I was just like, it ain't, it's not something I was like patient to add one more thing in. Let's just be real. I was like, if you guys could see, there's probably like 30 things here that I'm going to try to get through. But collagen, I know for a fact, just because of being a personal trainer and nutrition and things like that, that this is protein, yes, but this is not the protein you're going to need for muscle building. So oftentimes we get clients that that are like, "Oh yeah, I take protein. I'm taking collagen." And I'm like, "Collagen is great. However, not for what we're doing here in the studio." So like if it's an in-studio client or somebody that we're working with online for like weight training and giving them, programs and things, collagen is great, but it's not the same. It's not the same. Like collagen is protein, but it's not the same protein as a whey protein that you're going to need for muscle building. And that's because the protein you need for muscle building is going to contain all the amino acids and important components that you need for muscle building, where collagen works a little bit different and it works for other reasons. Okay. This one I like particularly because it has collagen peptides. Now it's tasteless. It blends really well. I'm drinking it right now in my greens and it's tasteless. I mean, I could taste the greens, but you can't taste it. So you can mix it in with your normal protein shake if you want. You can mix it in, I think, with cold beverages too. I've never tried like cold or hot, but I'm pretty sure it blends well in cold as well. But it has 4 sources of collagen. It is great for skin, joints, hair, nails, bones, and surprisingly, one thing that I wasn't aware of that it was beneficial for is for also for your gut health. So with collagen this year, I started taking pretty religiously, and my nail lady was like, "Girl, what is happening? Why are your nails growing so fast?" My hair grew a lot quicker than it has been, and I have curly hair, so it's slow. I mean, it grows normal, but because it's curly, it takes like 3 years to notice like an inch's worth of growth. Okay. So the collagen has been phenomenal for my hair, skin, and my nails. I know a lot of people are like, "Oh my God, what do you do for your skin? Your skin is this and that. Is that a filter?" I'm like, no, I think it's honestly the collagen because it's the only kind of new-ish thing that is relative to those things that people are complimenting on me on. So anyhow, collagen, fantastic. And last on my supplements that I take all the time as foundational health things is going to be greens. Now, I know some of you have a love, hate, and probably like a hate relationship with greens powder. And listen, I feel you. I've tried every formula under the sun. In fact, this bottle is from a brand that I don't use anymore of their greens, but I just like the bottle because it was convenient and had like measurement score lines on that. So I use that. But I'm always kind of like trying different greens and whatnot. This is the one I'm using right now. This is let's see, Nature's Super Greens. And it does not taste like lawnmower clippings. Okay. It's sweet. It has a little bit of a sweetness to it. And it is definitely drinkable. And it's not like painful drinkable, which y'all know what I'm talking about because I know that that there are some pretty interesting formulations for greens. But the other reason why I take this, besides the obvious, which is I'm not eating enough greens religiously for all my micronutrients, um, this is going to cover that, right? Where like your multivitamin is going to cover your minerals and things of that nature. This is going to cover your micronutrients. So it also is going to obviously help with energy. Think about it. This is a blended up formula of plants and fruits and vegetables, which are, forms of energy for us humans. And if we ground it all up in their most precious form into a powder and we drink it, it makes sense that it's going to help provide energy. And it does also help with digestion. There are probiotics in here as well. So that's another one that is a daily go-to. Now, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes that one kind of like goes over my head and I forget about it, but I would say that probably 5 out of 7 days, 4 days, 4 times sometimes, 4 out of 7 days probably is more accurate that I'm hitting those super greens and at least making sure that I get them in today. Just so happened to be one of them. Like I'm talking about it today, I should probably get these in today. I didn't have them yesterday. Okay, next we're going to move to the muscle building, strength, and performance supplements. Okay, so I didn't want to use the word performance, but it's more of just getting you through your training. Okay, and these things are essential, at least in my opinion. Well, I'm talking my hands too much. These things are essential, in my opinion, if you're really trying to focus on building muscle, and don't let that word scare you, reshaping your body, same thing, and staying lean and dropping body fat. Okay. Now none of these are fat burners, but they help in building muscle, and overall more muscle mass usually means you're going to be a leaner individual. Okay. So let's start with the first and most important and usually most obvious, which is protein powder. Now, protein powder, if you are consuming enough whole foods, then it's not so much of an issue. However, the demographic I work with, which is 99.999% women, and then obviously those that enjoy the podcast that are not, but most females are not consuming enough protein by way of food. So this thing is so bulky. That's what she said. So this is a great way to supplement with that. Now, if you are eating enough protein and you're on a regimen with that and you're eating, several meals throughout the day and you're able to get that in and consume it, great. I also think even if you're doing that, this is a great way to get in some protein post workout that just is like immediate. You don't have to wait to like get home and make a meal or any of that fun stuff, and just kind of get started on the recovery process as soon as possible, right? Because that's the whole point of protein. That is the point of protein. I mean, it has obviously a lot of other benefits, but the main for this conversation is for helping you repair and rebuild the muscle tear damage that you do in the gym. Okay. So the gym is not where your muscles are technically made. Yes, you're working them out there, but it is in the recovery process post workout that is imperative that you are doing the things to create the environment to recover and build the muscle. So not to go into a squirrely moment here, but I feel like I need to for a second because a lot of people miss the mark on this and they spin their wheels and their training and they refuse to take supplements because they're like, I'm not putting anything impure in my body, but yet they're slamming back 5 margaritas on the weekends. I'm a little bitter. But when you train, you're essentially creating micro tears in your muscle. That's why you will sometimes feel your muscles burn and things like that. Is you're producing an effect in your body that is tearing down the muscles as you're training. Then your body goes into recovery, and then it creates more muscle tissue to recover and kind of lay over those baby tears, right? This is just a very elementary way of explaining this, okay? Because it makes sense for me. So with your protein and your post-workout, post-workout and recovery and stress and all those things, if you are not optimizing your recovery, you are missing the forest for the trees. So you could be wondering why you don't see your body change, you plateau, you can't lift heavier, you can't do this, you can't do that. And it's because you're likely shitting the bed on your recovery. All right, I'm going to step down off my soapbox for a second and tell you about protein powder. So right now, my particular favorite is this EvoChem. It's EvoChem Hydro Pro. All right. Now, not all protein powders are created equal. Do not come to me and tell me you bought it from Costco. Do not ask me if you can drink pre-made drinks. Trash, trash, and trash. Okay. Pre-made drinks are great in a pinch and whatnot, but I don't like my clients relying on that. All right. This is a great post-workout, immediate protein hit. Okay. So this is usually what I do, and I'll mix it with like I said earlier, sometimes I'll mix it with collagen and then one of the other products I'm going to talk about in a second. Zero sugar. Now, if you're curious about macros, because a lot of times people come to me with their protein powders and they're like filled with sugar, pretty high calorie, low protein. It's just kind of all over the board. This is the best way that I could describe this particular brand of protein is for my demographic. So if you are my demographic, which is a female in the age ranges of 30 to 60, because now I'm like kind of collecting all ages in that broader range, and you weight train. This is not, I mean, you could use it if you do like boot camp and things like that, but that's not really, you're likely not putting enough strain on your body to need something like this protein powder. So weight training, you're getting in the gym, 3 to 4 days a week or whatever. Even if you're not in any weight training session, you're going to want to make sure that your protein needs are being met. So this is a good one. It's low in carbs, 120 calories, 27 grams of protein. Great, quick, easy way to get it in. Now, I do not want you living off of this. Okay. I see people doing that all the time. Well, I'm in a hurry. I don't like food prepping. I don't, and they just do powders and bars. Okay. I like to say that bodybuilders, if you look at like, let's just say the top 5 bodybuilders or bikini athletes or whatever, they are not building their bodies on just shakes alone. They are eating real food. So that's why this is called a supplement. If you are not hitting it with food, you supplement with protein powder, which again, most of us aren't. So I don't have rules, but pretty much my like unwritten rule for protein powder is 1 per day, like 1 shake per day, no more than that, unless you're in a massive pinch and you just need to get it in, but 1 per day. That's usually my thing. And if you have to figure out what time that should be, I would say post carb, lactose free, gluten free. And it is, again, I don't know if I mentioned a whey isolate. If you typically struggle with protein, it's usually not the isolate that is the issue. I'm going to totally botch this and my boyfriend's going to come for me. But the way that it's processed is different. So you're not going to have the same effects that typical dairy or lactose will cause with an isolate. So again, everybody's a little bit different, but see if you can tolerate that, get it, try it out. It does really, really well for my lactose intolerant clients. Okay. We'll say that. All right. Next, which ties into the protein, because protein, there are all the wonderful amino acids in the protein powder, but there is another amino acid that I supplement with and I have for years, on and off. And this isn't something that I necessarily do every single day. I will do this usually around my training. And what I mean by that is on the days that I'm training, I will make sure that I'm getting plenty of glutamine in, because I want to make sure that I'm not sore as fuck for the next day to get into the gym, even if it's a different body part. You know how it goes, like you work legs really good and getting out of bed, going to the bathroom, your legs are sore, like getting up and down off the toilet. You're like, WTF, right? So in order to prevent that, I really make sure that I'm not skipping one, my protein powder, and then two, adding in glutamine. This one is amazing. This one is also glutamine peptides. It's called Glumatic. And this glutamine is important because in order for you to grow, repair is necessary. And it is the most abundant amino acid in our body. So it only makes sense that when we are tearing our body down, that we utilize that to build it back up. So faster recovery means you're back into the gym quicker. And another perk of Glumatic or glutamine is it does help with your immune system. And it has also been found to help with GI issues. I know that there was a point in my health and fitness journey where one of my integrative docs thought I might have leaky gut. And so I know that a lot of doctors who have patients with leaky gut use glutamine as one of the foundations for that protocol. So again, I'm not a doctor, but that is something that does help with GI issues. Okay. Next, we have quite possibly, and it's hard for me to say this because y'all know I've had hundreds of supplements over the course of my life. And by hundreds, I mean different types, different brands, different pills. I've considered myself the supplement guinea pig for the greater good of humanity. Okay. So I have tried everything and I have tried some really disgusting things and just grinned and bared it because I was just like, okay, I need to get it down. But when I find something that I'm like, okay, it's a great quality product and it tastes good, then I'll be like loyal to it for life, right? And until, something else comes along better. But usually that's a hard one to match. So with BCAAs, you've maybe heard of this, branch chain amino acids. This is a powder form. You put it in a shaker cup with some water, and this is something that you can sip on before your workout, during, and after. So it just depends on a lot of things, but one being, how much time do you have? Are you able to, get in some BCAAs before? The great thing is that these are instatized. So, and that's another reason why I love this particular brand is because you don't have to drink them and then kind of wait before you go work out for them to actually start working. But it is nice to kind of start sipping on them and get ready and primed and also kind of just mentally get you ready for training. This one I like because it is the base of the formula is with coconut water powder for electrolytes. So that's also another great bonus for this. And I know that coconut just tastes good to me. And it doesn't taste like coconut, but you kind of just have that kind of like tropical flavor. This one is one of my favorites. They have like a green apple, I believe it is as well. That is really good. This is strawberry. But why these are important? This is going to help again with recovery, repair, reducing soreness, preserving muscle loss. So if you're a constant dieter, hello, all of my competitors out there, or you're doing a transformation program or something like that, BCAAs are incredibly helpful to help preserve the muscle that you do have. And then it also helps with muscle protein synthesis. And that is a process by which muscles grow and repair. And so when you're consuming branch chain amino acid, that is going to obviously aid in that process, which is going to help with all things muscle building and recovery and all that jazz. But these ones, chef's kiss, okay? Delicious. All right. Next, and this brand is called Stance. And Stance, I take quite a few of their products and really great tasting products and good quality products. Okay. The next one is another Stance product, which is Power ATP. If you've been waiting for the buzzword creatine, well, welcome. Here it is. This one has the creatine monohydrate already in it. Now, the ingredients in here aid in muscular contractions. And why that's important is that's going to help with blood flow and obviously building that lean, sexy muscle that we're all trying to achieve. I know there's a lot of controversy about creatine and is it safe for women? Is it considered a steroid? Yes, it's safe for women. No, it's not a steroid. And no, it's not going to bloat you and make you hold water. At least not this brand in my experience. I was skeptical about taking creatine. I don't take it very often. I kind of go in waves. I'll go in bouts. It just depends. I'll take it, religiously for 6 months, and I'll take a little bit of a break. But I just recently brought it back in, probably about 3 months ago. And I was afraid I was going to get bloated and have all the side effects of creatine monohydrate. Did not have that happen with these. So I was very happy about that. So these stay in my supplement routine. I take them about 30 minutes before I train. And this is supposed to be helping you increase your lean body mass and overall strength and muscle density. Okay. Love this shit. Highly recommend it. If you are trying to reshape your body and grow muscles, you definitely need to get Power ATP, but creatine monohydrate is the key ingredient, and you definitely want to have that in your supplement stack. Okay, another product, but I actually do not have with me because I'm out of it, is a product that is a pre-workout called Renovate, and it is a non-stim pre-workout. So well, that's the one I use. They do have stimulant versions of it. I drink coffee. I take ADHD meds. I don't need any more crack in my system. So I don't take a pre-workout that has any kind of stimulant in it. I'm not a huge fan. So that one is great, Renovate. And then Stance also makes a great one as well. And it's called Merc. That one does have stimulant in it, like for energy and stuff for pre-workout. So if you do take that, FYI, and the great tasting flavors as well. And a little goes a long way with that. But if you want to have like such a great training session, you got to look into pre-workouts. Okay. All right. We are going to move on to the next category of supplements that are in my regime. And this one is going to be a huge boner kill. I'm very sorry, but it is supplements that are for fat loss and metabolism boosters. Okay. Boner kill more on the fat loss side of things, but metabolism boosters, we do have some important things to talk about there. So the reason why I'm going to say boner kill, I just want to say boner kill for fat loss, is because I don't have a magic pill for you for that. I wish I could give you a pill and say like, here you go, sweet thing, honey boo boo, take this. And, essentially I will not have a job anymore. Okay. Not really, but there's nothing out there. I'm sorry. Semaglutide's not even a magic. Like, it's a Band-Aid. It's just a Band-Aid over the bigger problem. Okay. It is a Band-Aid, and it's just trying to essentially take care of the symptom, but not the problem, which the problem is your diet. Okay. So that's why I don't take fat burners. I don't take, what are those things called? Thermogenics. I don't take any of that. All right. I don't think that that is the first line of defense that you should use when you are trying to lose weight. You should be looking at the reasons why you are in the position that you're at, because the pill that you pop is not just going to abolish all of those shitty habits. Okay. So you have to start working on those. And yes, those may in conjunction like expedite your results and things like that. But in my experience, a lot of times those things do more harm than good. And then a lot of times people get addicted to them and thinking that that's the answer to their fat loss problems. And indeed it is not. Okay. Now I have taken them before. Yes. I use them a lot in the very beginning of my bodybuilding journey. And I just prefer that my clients and my athletes don't use them, and let the diet do its work. Create a good, healthy, solid baseline of like dietary supplements for overall health, and also, supplement with things for recovery to help them build muscle, and let all of this work in tandem, like a happy little universe, and you will see your results. So I don't have a fat loss pill. There are some out there, but Boss Bitch is not going to tell you that that's your first thing you should be doing. Okay. Now, one thing that I do use, and it's not even for fat loss, it's more or less, where'd she go in my sea of supplements? It is more or less for uh just reducing bloating, kind of getting my food through my system because sometimes it's sluggish. And so this is one that I'm not using incredibly religiously, but I will use it, sometimes 2-3 times a week. And it's generally on the nights I know that I'm going to go out to dinner, and or I'm going to probably have a couple drinks or something like that. And it's not because it's going to stop the calories from like sticking to my body. It's more or less just to kind of help with like some water weight and things like that. Because when I eat restaurant food, I don't eat restaurant food frequently. So when I do, my body immediately just is not very happy about it, which usually results in like my rings being really tight, just kind of like feeling bloaty and things like that. Even when I do digestive enzymes, they'll help like my digest stuff. It'll help a little bit, but this just kind of takes it to the next level. It's called, sorry, I'm holding back on you here. It's called Detoxin and the brand is Catalyst, but it helps with kind of flushing out liver, kidneys. It has dandelion in it and milk thistle. And so these are all really great ingredients to help support liver, kind of detoxification, if you will, which the liver does a pretty great job on its own, but this is just a little bit of an extra boost. Um, and it is, according to the label, benefits and perks, it does help get plaque buildup out of your colon. Now, I will say that if you have a gallbladder, this will also help with that. But I would, I'm not going to tell you how to do your things, but I would start with half of the dose because you want to make sure that you tolerate it well. Because if you're super sensitive to things, you might end up, shitting your brains out, FYI. But I take one pill, I'm good. Like it's great. Everything flows and I'm happy. And it's not addictive in the sense that I have to keep taking it. Like some, what are those called? Like Senna and things like that, that help you go to the bathroom. Those are habit forming, which just means like your body starts to rely on them to be able to poop. This is not one of those products, which is great. Okay. Next up in the fat loss kind of metabolism booster. This is not a fat loss pill. Again, y'all know how I'd be feeling about that, but this is and it's not a carb blocker. I know y'all have heard about this, but this product is called Glycovex. And it's by Evochem Nutrition as well. This is one, again, that I do not take religiously. However, I will cycle it in and out. Now, let's get a little bit deeper into that. The main ingredient in this is berberine. I've been using berberine off and on for probably 5 or 6 years. And berberine is really hot, and it's one of those supplements right now that a lot of the big name coaches are actually supporting in terms of their clients using and recommending, because it is being shown widely to help with insulin sensitivity, which is an issue that a lot of us have from just consuming copious amounts of sugar and carbohydrate laden foods. So berberine is one of the main ingredients in here. Okay. Berberine also has been known to help with appetite suppression. Now, I'm very leery about mentioning products or suggesting, I don't suggest products that suppress anyone's appetite, because what happens when you stop taking them? The appetite comes back, and then you have no way to regulate that because you've been using a pill to trick your brain into thinking that you're not hungry. So again, that's a side benefit, but that's not why I use it. I use it mainly for the insulin sensitivity properties that it has. There is also known to aid in digestion, berberine as well, digestion and absorption. And it just helps you utilize carbohydrates more efficiently, but it is not a carb blocker. So if you think you're blocking carbs or you're taking a product, that's not how it works. Again, we would not have the epidemic of obesity like we do now if that was indeed something that was truly going to work. So these things are in addition to your lifestyle that are going to help, increase your results. Moving on, we're going to move to a couple of hormonal support and overall health stuff. I mean, not overall health, but overall stress and hormonal stuff. So the first one, and this is one that I've been recommending to my clients religiously because I've started taking it and it has been incredible in terms of kind of like female symptoms around my period and things like that, which is alignment, again, from Catalyst. So the alignment, and this is the women's formula. All right. So this has dim in it, and I don't know if I want to embarrass myself and try to say that entire word. No, I'm not going to. It's like 13 letters long and I'm going to butcher it. But you'll likely have heard of DIM if you're a female, but this is one that one of the supplements that does have DIM. It has ashwagandha and it has phosphatidylserine. And these ingredients are well known throughout the, I guess, supplement world to aid in sleep, stress, mood, improve energy levels. Great for my ladies out there, especially if you're pre and postmenopausal and or you struggle with premenstrual issues. I have really intense premenstrual symptoms. And so when I am in my premenstrual window, usually about a week before my period starts, which bonus tip, if you're not tracking your periods, my friends, you should start doing that because it'll tell you a lot about why you're being a biatch. Okay. Because as I've started tracking my periods years and years ago, probably 5, 6 years ago at this point. And what I started noticing and getting very aware of was at specific points in the month when I was crying easily and being irrational and stuff like that. And then it would educate me around when I needed to supplement with certain supplements to help minimize those issues. Now, some of this might be deeply hormonal, and that is not going to be fixed with some of these types of supplements. So you should definitely make sure you have your hormones checked. However, these are a great start if you're just like, I just need to start something. Okay. So, what I typically do is I will make sure that during the week before my period that I am dosed up a little bit higher than the 4 capsules here. So, 4 capsules is basically a baseline. It just says 4 capsules once a day. But again, I'm not recommending you do this. For me, I will usually do 6 a day on the week of my period, just to kind of give me a little bit of a boost because that bitch be coming out and she is not fun. All right. Then the other one, this is also a great one for men as well, which has similar ingredients, but this one has a little bit more in terms of mood and sleep ingredients. It's called Restore. The brand is Catalyst again. This is really great in periods of high stress. Okay, now I know some of you might be like, that's every day. Okay, then you need to get this Restore stress formula. And this one again also has L-theanine, this has tyrosine, this has ashwagandha, magnesium, there is a little bit of vitamin C in here as well. So this is going to be great for, again, high periods of stress, and you will sleep amazing, right? You're going to notice a trend with this podcast, which has a lot to do with the post workout windows, right? The pre and the post. You have some stuff to worry about during, like, that you need to take, but most of it comes around because it's the other 23 hours of a day. If you're training 1 hour a week, it's the other 23 hours of your day that are important, that are going to dictate whether or not you're going to see your results. It's not going to be just getting in the gym and doing the work. It's going to be everything else you're doing. Okay. So super important to realize. All right, let's move on to more into the mood, sleep, and stress relief. Got some really fun ones here. I'm always excited to talk about stress relief because y'all, boss bitch be working. Boss bitch be working. She's working, she's doing the things, and stress and yeah, it's pretty high. And so I am definitely taking all of these things religiously right now. And again, like I talked about earlier, let's see, Restore, that's another one that's religiously in right now because I'm working 50 to 70 hours a week at my desk. And a lot of that is it's just stressful, right? It's stressful on my brain. So one that I started adding in, I think it's been about 2 months now, is 1XPM. And this fun little supplement is a great one because it has multiple ingredients in it. It has zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B6. So this is going to help with immune system support. I don't know how to rotate this. I'm kind of stuck at that. I'm not quite the influencer. Do I need to do that? And magnesium has been shown to help women reduce PMS and cravings. So this stuff is also amazing for sleep because it has, like I mentioned, the magnesium. So it helps you get into that nice deep sleep and your quality of sleep improves. It has also been shown to improve your blood pressure. Now, the main reason why I think this one is super important versus taking something like a melatonin is because this one has minerals that you actually need, right? And it is going to help you get into that deep REM sleep, rapid eye movement. And if you've heard any of my podcasts before about sleep and how important it is to get into REM, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because if you aren't able to get into that deep restorative sleep, guess what you're going to have a trouble doing? Burning fat and building muscle. So this one again is probably one that I would highly, highly recommend. If you struggle with getting good quality sleep, or maybe you don't get enough sleep, and you want to improve those hours, right? Like sometimes it's just out of your control because of schedules and whatnot, kids and things of that nature. Maybe you're only getting 4 or 5 hours. Well, it's important that you get good quality sleep within those 4 or 5 hours. And this is not one that you wake up feeling groggy and feeling terrible after you take it. Okay. All right, let's move into some other funsies, which is going to be, I know y'all have heard my cured commercial probably 100 times by now, but it's there because it works and I love it and I take them. And y'all need to get on the CBD train and THC train if you're not yet. How do you think Boss Bitch is so creative? I mean, I'm not, but I am. Is because I get to experience enhanced relaxation, mood benefit properties from a lot of the adaptogens and functional mushrooms that are in a lot of their products in the CBD and the CBN, which allows me to tap into my creative brain and my sort of, introspective and curious brain. So you can thank Cured for a lot of my podcast ideas, FYI. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about are the Serenity gummies, and I apologize if that crinkling of the packaging is very annoying. Also, by the way, I don't know how I'm just now mentioning this, but if you're listening to this with your ears and not your eyes, and you want to see it with your eyes, you just need to go over the YouTubes, and we'll link that up in the show notes. But I have all of my products out, and I'm showing each individual bottle, and you're getting the animation and everything. Okay, Serenity gummies. These little gummies, these little guys, CBD and a micro dose of THC. These are so good. I'm gonna eat one right now. I'm gonna have a little ASMR with you. They're so good. They're like a little like yummy coating on them, and they have adaptogens in them. So this is great if you're like, I need to relax and unwind, and I need to have like a full body exhale. That's how I describe it. It's like you're just like tense and tight, and you're on your phone, you're on your computer, you're at work, you're driving kids to school, you're driving home, you're in traffic, like all this. And then you take some of these, like the cured products, specifically like the ones I'm going to talk about here, the oil in this guy. And it's just like let's just exhale together. Let's do this together. Take a deep breath in, fill it up, and yeah, it's great. I love it. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay. Then from Cured, the next one I have are the Calm capsules. Now they have a lot of different products. They have their Rise products as well. I'm out of that. That one is also great in the morning. But this one, these are Calm caps. I don't know if you guys can see that. Do I need to do the little influencer thing? And I'm just like rotating it wrong. And obviously, I'm a sucker for beautiful packaging too. So their packaging is like so sexy. Where's she at? Where's she at? Kudos to them on that. But these are like little tiny baby gel caps, and these are the Calm capsules. This has full spectrum hemp extract. Okay, so you got some hemp in here. These are great to help with inflammation, stress, and all the fun things that adaptogens and hemp work for. I take 2 of these Serenity gummies before I started recording the podcast, and they've started to kick in a little bit. So I'm feeling like a silly goose. Okay. But again, back to the Calm caps, these guys have hemp extract, and also it, because people are like, is this gonna, are these marijuana? Are these gonna get me high? No, no, and no. Okay. But they do aid in stress relief and supporting long lasting stress relief. Then the last product I have for you today is Cured's Pure Oil. So this is another one of their yummy products, Pure Oil. And this is just a sublingual drop. So you take a dropper full. Again, if you're not used to using CBD or CBN or THC or anything like that, or THC derived products, I would just look at this and kind of start slow and maybe not do an entire dropper full. But 15, 20 minutes before I go to bed, that's when I usually do a dropper full, let it rest underneath your tongue because it is sublingual. And this helps you fall asleep faster and honestly stay asleep longer. Again, broad spectrum hemp on this one. Great stuff. So Cured is another one of my favorite products and brands. And I've been taking them for quite some time, at least this year. All of 2023. Okay, now let's move on. All of this is great and fine, but if you're not organizing yourself properly for your supplements, then they're just going to sit either on a counter, in a cabinet, on a shelf, or something like that. So the way that I organize my supplementation is I pull everything out onto my counter usually every Sunday, and I look at everything, and I usually have my phone nearby, and it's like, okay, where am I at in my cycle? What am I going to need, support with? Honestly, I will look at sometimes my calendar and see what I have coming up in terms of high stress projects or things like that. And if I'm going to need a little bit more of the restore, am I going to need to, increase my alignment formula? Things like that. And honestly, things that I don't need, right? And I'll just kind of do it week to week and see what I need and what I don't need. Now, again, if you're going on vacation, that's another thing to consider. Or, again, like I said, the PMS week or the PMS window, that's always something I think about when organizing my supplementation and figuring out what I'm going to take. Now, like I said before, some of these will be the foundational ones that we started with the podcast will be in my routine always, and then others I will rotate. Now, it's also important to note that I take a supplement break usually 2 times per year. And I do this for 1 to 2 weeks. And the only thing I will really take is my baseline medications like my thyroid medicine, and I take progesterone as well. So I will take those. I will even take a break from my multivitamin. I just like to give my body a little bit of a break, a little bit of a reset. And then that way, when I come back to my supplements, um, it's a great practice of like awareness, which is okay, how am I feeling? How am I feeling being off everything for a week? And sometimes I will just start to cycle in things back in instead of going full gamut right back into everything again. I will maybe pick 3 or 4 supplements and start with that week 1 back in, and then I will layer another one. And I kind of want to assess how am I feeling, based off of adding alignment back in, or how am I feeling, adding in, the detoxin or something like that. I would just kind of really be in tune with what the fuck is happening with your body. Okay. Super important. Um, and then it gives your body a little bit of a chance to sort of, I don't want to say like reboot or reset, but I do believe that when you take certain supplements consistently, your body just tends to adapt to them. And so sometimes I like to just, again, take that break. So, I know that there's a lot of doctors that we work with and refer our clients to that also suggest the same thing. And since they suggested it, that's something that I'm pretty diligent about doing. Now, something else to consider is, again, I think I've mentioned it at some point, but you have to look at the serving sizes. Okay. This is something that I think a lot of people just unknowingly don't do, or they just don't realize, is you have to look at the serving size. Now, that doesn't only stand for supplements, that also goes for your food, most importantly. But with your supplements, so for example, this multivitamin, or sorry, this gut formula says that a serving size is 2 capsules, and you can take 2 capsules twice a day. So I can take up to 4 of these a day. Okay. So you just have to know that. So that way, when you buy, like how many days supply you have, and how it's going to be effective. The thing is, and I always just like to put this out there, is that when when supplement companies create their supplementation, they're kind of creating it for a general audience, right? They're making it for a very standard like person, let's just say, or a group of population of humans. So it's very hard to say that if 2 or 4 pills is suggested as a serving size, if that truly is going to work for you. It may work for someone who is 5'5", 155 pounds, but is that going to also be the case for someone who is 6'7" and 340 pounds, right? So you just have to remember that in terms of your supplementation, and know that while there is it says on here, serving size, while there is a serving size, it may not be a one size fits all approach. So just keep that in mind. And I can't give you a formula for figuring that out, but just if you're taking something and you're like, I don't think this is working, okay, maybe that's something you have to think about. Okay. I know we did talk about do not buy on Amazon, do not buy at Costco, and do not buy at a drugstore. And the other thing I want to give you as far as a tip is, do not, if you can avoid doing tablets versus capsules, that is your best bet. I am not a fan of tablets, and those are going to be like the heavier, thicker pills that don't have like a gel or clear like capsule type thing, right? That those are a little bit thicker, they're harder to swallow, and definitely harder to digest. Okay. So that's just my preference. And then lastly, I think what I was originally trying to tell you guys is it does not matter if you have all these wonderful, beautiful, fancy supplements if you're not taking them. So in order to take them, rather than being annoyed with having to pull out of every single bottle and all the things, get yourself a supplement holder container that has each day labeled on it. So you know exactly what day you're on and what you're taking, and, all the things. Maybe on your workout days, you're not taking, you're taking, let's say, the ATP, the creatine, but on your non-workout days, you're not. So if you know in your schedule that you train Monday, Wednesday, Friday, then on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, before you go train at 6 a.m., you're going to take your ATP, right? So you put it in here, and then the other days you don't. So this helps you stay consistent, stay on track, and get everything in. So it's not just sitting on your counter wasting some money. And I will link up this supplement case. I got it on Amazon. I think it's called Bug Hull, Hull. And this is a giant supplement container, meaning the compartments are pretty big. So they do have, like, you don't need this elaborate. This is for 4 different supplement timings throughout the day. So I take one first thing in the morning, and this is going to be when I get up at 5, between 5 and 6, I'm taking that first one. And then this second little slot, usually I take around noon, around lunchtime. And then the third one is going to be generally around 4, 6 p.m. And then the last one I take right before bed. Okay. So, and we will link these up in the show notes as well, so you can kind of just, check it out, the one that I'm using. So, all right. I think that pretty much sums up all of the info about my current supplement routine. I hope that was exciting for y'all. So just remember, when you supplement smartly, you're going to be able to improve in a lot of areas of your life. And like I mentioned earlier, the areas that are going to contribute to, yes, your overall health and well-being, but also to hitting your body and health goals in an indirect way. Okay. So it's not like you're training, right? It is all of the little things, again, that I said that happen the other 23 hours of your day that are going to help you with your fat loss, health and fitness goals, your muscle building goals. Okay. And again, I know I said this already, but supplements are just exactly that. They are there to supplement your life, your lifestyle, your diet, and things like that. There's no quick fix here with any of this stuff. I'm sure to me, I'm like, I don't know. I feel like this stuff is boring, but this is stuff that I take every day. And I'm quite content with my health and my fitness and my body and all the stress that I put it through mentally and physically. I'm feeling like I'm holding up pretty well. Okay. At least physically. Maybe, mentally I'm about to crash and burn here a little bit, like, and just pass out and sleep for 4 days. But stress wise, it's not reflecting on the scale. I'm able to train and all the things. So this is going to help with your overall well-being, like I mentioned. And honestly, I know that a lot of times you guys are here for the like super cool, like fat loss things or workout things and knowledge that we have, and anyone I bring on here, myself as well. But I'm essentially trying to get you guys to prioritize your health so that way later on you're avoiding illness and you're not living on prescription meds that are also going to come with a whole host of other problems. I mean, we've seen it all, right? We've seen the commercial that tells you, "Oh, suffering from, I don't know, erectile dysfunction, take this pill." And then you hear the very like faint voice afterwards that's like, "This pill will cause diarrhea, headache, stroke, possibly brain aneurysm." And then you're like, "Okay, great, but I'll have a great boner." Okay, so that's just one example. And it with supplementation, while yes, there are possibilities for like side effects, right? If like you don't tolerate something, you might you might have a loose stool one day or something like that. You're going to be working on improving your health and not taking prescription drugs, and I'm very happy about that for you. Okay, so I've included a downloadable guide for you. Make sure to find that wherever you're listening to this in the show notes. Also, again, over on the YouTubes, it'll be in the description box, and that will be so you can check them out, products out further, decide if there's anything that you want to add to your arsenal. Like I mentioned earlier, there's some affiliate links and codes to save you some cash as well too. I always appreciate using my codes, but again, you don't have to. It's a free will. You can do whatever you want. But again, I would love for you to do me a favor and stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin. Okay, but really, I just have one teensy little ask. One teensy baby little microscopic ask, because I drug all my supplements up here and my boyfriend helped me create fucking postcards or flashcards. See, I don't even use flashcards, but I wanted something to quick reference. All right, I did all that. And all I ask is that you just share this episode. Yep, see, my screen even is giving a thumbs up. Zoom is doing some weird shit these days, but I just ask that you share this episode with your gym bestie and or someone who that would enjoy the supplement talk. That's all, just that. And if you're on YouTube, can you just subscribe to my channel? Okay. I think that's it, you guys. Thanks again for another fun episode in which I just talk to myself, but really I'm talking to you guys because you guys are my bitches and I love you. And I'm so fucking stoked for 2024. Like, I'm not a New Year's resolutioner, but there's just something about the new year that just brings new energy, new buzz, just a whole host of fresh inspiration. And we've got so much cool shit for you guys on Boss Bitch Radio for 2024. I cannot freaking wait. Y'all are going to love it. Okay. Have a great day.